Noon, a suspected serial killer is back in court.
It comes after he was indicted in a 25-year-old cold case murder in Broward County. Local 10 News reporter Joseph Ojo was in the courtroom for the suspect's arraignment today. Joseph.
And this is the first sighting of Lucius Boyd in years. He appeared in court earlier today talking about that. He appeared in court earlier today talking about the pleading not guilty to those charges that are against him. And we did get a chance to speak with the sister of a victim who likely died at the hands of Boyd, and she just wants justice for her loved one. Convicted murderer, rapist, and suspected serial killer Lucius Boyd appearing in a Broward County court Tuesday. It's the first time we have seen a sight of him in over 20 years. He is accused of brutally raping and murdering Eileen Trumpener, who was a mother of two.
Not guilty.
Although a not guilty plea by Boyd's defense, detectives believe he is their suspect after new technology and DNA analysis linked him to the rape and murder which happened more than 25 years ago. In 1998, Trumpener was left for dead in a grassy area in southwest Broward County off of US 27.
It hurts. And it hurts like it was yesterday.
Boyd was already on death row for the murder of 21-year-old Dewania DaCosta, who detectives said was killed just 2 weeks before Trumpener. Last month, Sheriff Gregory Toney said their homicide cold case unit will not stop looking into several other cases Boyd may be linked to.
She was my sister, who I loved and admired.
Like the homicide investigation of Gina Marie Moore.
The detectives tell me Lucius refuses to speak about any of the women who are missing. They say he will die with his secrets.
Moore's sister was present in court Tuesday.
I can't believe I saw Lucius Boyd. I can't believe it. He scared me.
She tells us detectives told her that Boyd's DNA was found all over her sister's body, but it's not enough evidence. While seeing Boyd in court made her very emotional and vulnerable, she just wants a conviction and closure.
That he speaks up, that he says where these women are, that he confesses to it.
And so Amber Barry, that you did just hear from in that story, she says that her sister Gina Marie Moore was trafficked in Fort Lauderdale back in 1998, and she believes that she was killed by Boyd, who she was last seen with at the time. Now detectives are still investigating that case and are looking into more cases that Boyd may be linked to. Once we learn any more information about that, we'll be sure to let you know. But his next court date is set for April 11th. We're here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm Joseph Ojo, Local 10 News.
All right, Joseph, thank you. Turning now to a crime alert. Miami Gardens police investigating several recent shootings. Police are on the hunt for a gunman who's responsible for shooting 13-year-old George Harris Jr. The teen was shot in the back of the head while playing video games with friends.
It's truly a sad incident. We don't take those things lightly at all.
On the same day Harris was shot, Reynaldo Romanes was tragically killed near the Raceway gas station, and police believe his death may be connected to the death of Javaris Williams, who was shot and killed at a home.
And several families have been displaced after a fire broke out in their home in Miami. Firefighters were forced to cut open the roof of that triplex as they worked to get that fire out yesterday at Northwest 5th Avenue and 59th Street. All 7 residents were able to get out safely, thank goodness, but 2 of the dogs sadly did not survive.
My neighbor, her nephew had came to me and knocked on the door saying that's a fire, fire, fire.
My dog Socks, my tripod, he had 3 legs. Yeah, he didn't make it, and my puppy Cinnamon didn't make it. And it just breaks my heart. I really love them.
Residents are salvaging what they can today. The cause of that fire is being investigated.
Turning now to bicyclists taking to the streets of South Florida for the annual Wheels Up, Guns Down ride out on MLK Day. Multiple law enforcement agencies, including FHP, were monitoring the roads. Packs of bikers forced law enforcement to close some interstate ramps and at times forced drivers to come to a dangerous and hard stop. Over the 3-day weekend, Miami-Dade police say they arrested nearly 170 people and issued more than 600 citations to people who were breaking traffic laws or being reckless.
The White House actually targeted by a prank.
The swatting call reported there that led to a huge response.
And a police probe when the findings will be released into the school shooting response in Uvalde.
And the search now suspended after a small plane crashed off the coast of California.
The White House, the target of a swatting incident. Multiple fire and EMS units were dispatched yesterday after someone called police claiming there was a fire at the White House and a person was trapped inside. The call was traced back to a fake number and determined to be a false alarm. The president had spent the weekend at Camp David and was not at the White House at the time of that call. Meantime, the Justice Department is planning to release its review of the response to the Uvalde school massacre in Texas later this week. 19 children and 2 teachers were killed when the gunman opened fire inside the Robb Elementary School. That happened May 24th of 2022. And ever since, Texas officials and law enforcement have been under intense scrutiny for how they responded. It took 77 minutes for first responders to actually confront and kill that gunman. The report is expected to be made public on Thursday.
Turning now to an update on the fatal air balloon crash that happened in Arizona. Authorities released the identities of 4 victims who died in the crash in Eloy on Sunday. The victims included the pilot, 37-year-old Cornelius Vanderwalt. He was originally from South Africa. The other 3 victims were between the ages of 24 and 28. Officials suspect the balloon crashed after an unspecified problem with its envelope, but an official cause is still under investigation. The search for victims has been called off after Sunday night's plane crash in California. 2 people were on the small aircraft when it crashed off the coast of Half Moon Bay. A woman's body was found in the water yesterday. Parts of the plane's wreckage are still being recovered. Authorities are working to find out where the plane first departed from. It's also unclear if the pilot was trying to land at Half Moon Bay's airport.
And 11 people were rescued after a huge tree fell at the Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. Firefighters responding to that scene yesterday, finding the large eucalyptus tree that hit a total of 5 different vehicles. The fallen limbs blocking lanes going northbound. Officials say 11 people inside those vehicles involved were safe. 2 people did have some injuries, but they were non-life-threatening. We also have a warning today about unregulated supplements.
Why they're being linked to an increase in overdoses. That's coming up.
Also in your health headlines, preventing aging, the boom in Botox among people actually in their 20s.
Meanwhile, less people are popping bottles. The slump in sales for champagne following the pandemic.
Hey, Mike Martinez here from American Impact Windows and Doors, where your safety is our business. We've partnered with some of the most amazing brands in the industry to protect your home from not just hurricanes, but also from potential intruders.
Protect your home. Protect your family. Order your Impact Windows and Doors today. You can get 0% financing and no payments for 24 months. Call 888-444-5902. American Impact Windows and Doors. Your safety is our business.
We have a health alert today. Unregulated supplements in the U.S. are being linked to overdoses, and they are often labeled as dietary supplements or mood boosters and sold at gas stations, but they really are not FDA approved at all. Federal health officials say one of the chemicals in the supplements has actually been linked to a rise in overdoses and even deaths in our country. So far, 9 states have banned this. It's called tianeptine, citing its dangerous effects.
Some people are taking 10 to 15 of these bottles at one time for the euphoric effects. And that's when the problems begin.
Big problems here. Pharmacists urging people to pay attention to what they're actually picking off store shelves and know the dangers that could be inside those bottles.
A new study reveals erectile dysfunction drugs may increase the risk of an early death when combined with a common drug for chest pain. The study included over 60,000 men with stable coronary artery disease and a history of a heart attack. It found that men taking erectile dysfunction medications along with nitrates, a common drug for chest pain, saw an increase in their risk for heart failure and early death. People in their 20s are spending thousands on anti-aging procedures. The increase in spending driven by preventative Botox. According to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, Botox injections for people in their 20s rose 71% from 2019 to 2020. The procedure involved getting injections in an area with no defined or definite wrinkles to keep them from forming. Instead of shelling out thousands on injections, dermatologists recommend a simple skincare routine with a cleanser, moisturizer, and the big one, sunscreen.
You always got to use that. All right, another new study suggesting that the size of your family could impact your mental health. Researchers looked at teenagers in the U.S. and in China, and they found those who had larger families ended up with poorer mental health than those who had small families. The greatest impact was seen in families with multiple children who were born less than 1 year apart. Now, according to researchers, the decline in mental health could also be due to people with more siblings receiving fewer resources and attention from their parents. And artificial intelligence could threaten the world's workforce. That's according to the International Monetary Fund. The head of that organization says AI will impact 40% of jobs around the globe, and the trend could worsen as well. That group also says low exposure jobs like telemarketing will be most impacted. The IMF is calling on governments to create social safety nets to counter the rise of AI.
In consumer news, champagne sales have lost some of their pop in 2023 following a few record-breaking years coming out of COVID-19 lockdowns. A new report shows that shipments from France fell to 299 million bottles, marking an 8.2% decline compared to 2022. And within France, shipments were down by 127 million bottles. TV's biggest night is finally back.
The big winners and historic night on the 75th anniversary of the Emmy Awards, that's coming up.
Plus, the NFL playoffs locked in after a SuperCard wild weekend.
Hey, Mike Martinez here from American Impact Windows and Doors, where your safety is our business. We've partnered with some of the most amazing brands in the industry to protect your home from not just hurricanes, but also from potential intruders.
Protect your home. Protect your family. Order your Impact Windows and Doors today. You can get 0% financing and no payments for 24 months. Call 888-444-5902. American Impact Windows and Doors. Your safety is our business.
It was television's biggest night and the 75th anniversary to boot.
Yeah, the Emmy Awards were held last night after being delayed because of the writers and actors strikes. The Bear was the big winner, sweeping all of its categories in its first year of competition with 6 Emmys, including Outstanding Comedy Series. Succession tying the Bear for most wins, taking one last victory lap for its final season, including the coveted award for Outstanding Drama Series. The night also tying the record for most winning actors and actresses of color. Quinta Brunson became the first Black lead actress to win for her comedy in more than 40 years for her role on Abbott Elementary that airs right here on Local 10.
Thank you so much. I love making Abbott Elementary so much, and I am so happy to be able to live my dream and act out comedy.
There were so many good speeches, including this one, Niecy Nash-Betts taking home the prize for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Limited Series, and like I said, the best speech of the night.
I accept this award on behalf of every Black and brown woman who has gone unheard yet over-policed, like Glenda Cleveland, like Sandra Bland, like Breonna Taylor. As an artist, my job is to speak truth to power, and baby, I'm gonna do it to the day I die.
It was a great speech. And singer Elton John has officially joined the elite EGOT club. Elton won an Emmy last night, and he already had a Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. He won an Emmy for his concert special, Elton John Live, Farewell from Dodger Stadium. He won Oscars for Best Original Song in 1995 and 2020, and in 2000 he took the Tony for Best Original Score for the play Aida, and he is a 6-time Grammy Award winner, so no doubt deserves that EGOT status for sure.